Hey everybody, welcome back to Slackers Podcast. It is your host Andrew, aka Slacker, here to tell you about Anchor at the top of the show. Let me explain a couple things about Anchor to you. It is free. They have creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. They will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and many more services. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. And if you're interested to make a show like Slackers Podcast, please download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started making your show today. Hey everybody, and welcome to the Slackers Podcast. This is Andrew. This episode of Jeremy was something I was looking forward to for a long time, and that's why I'm sad to say that it kind of turned out to be pretty terrible. Not the episode itself, but the audio quality with recording over Anchor, long distance, and my recording got delayed so much to the point where me and Jeremy were talking over each other. So I decided that I would still upload the episode, but I would cut it off right when it got unbearable to listen to, where we were actually talking over each other instead of replying to each other. You know what I mean? Other than that, the episode was incredible. I still like Anchor. I do continue to plan. I plan to continue using the Anchor distribution service because it's made everything else so easy. And my recommendation to them is to do something, because I feel like it wasn't an issue between me and Jeremy. My audio was, the microphone I was using was bad. Jeremy's setup was perfect. He sounds great. So I think it was all me, and for that I do apologize. The episode's pretty interesting. We kind of talk about what he does and some things that we've done together. But man, we talked about at least 45 more minutes on top of what you're about to hear. So yeah, just one last apology. I'll hook back up with you after the show to say a few more things. I hope you do enjoy it. I know this one's going to be hard to listen to, but I do have the full recording, and I'll probably do something with it later. I don't know. But yeah, this is Jeremy. He's a really cool guy. He's probably the most professional guest that we've had so far, and it was a fun time talking to him because we haven't caught up in a bit. So, all right, everybody, see you soon. At Slackers Podcast, we want good times to last. At Slackers Podcast, we don't talk too fast. And if you don't like the way I talk, then you can lick my ass, 'cause I didn't ask. It's my fucking podcast. All right. Hey everybody, and welcome to the Slackers Podcast. This is episode 9 now, so moving up in the world. I'm here with my buddy, my boss, not at the moment, Jeremy. He's a pretty great guy, very knowledgeable and very verbose. So this is going to be a great episode that we've got for you guys today, and I really hope you enjoy it. So we are ready to go. Jeremy, why don't you tell us your elevator pitch for who you are and what you do?
I guess it would be like ding, right? Like I got to push the elevator button before you get stuck on there with me.
Yeah, sorry, man.
And then like what? You gotta, I can't use my finger. I gotta use like my knuckle, right? Or like,
right.
Can't touch things. I don't know. I do stuff with things.
Okay.
I've worked in academic research libraries for the past 13, 14 years doing digitization, art reproduction, exhibition creation, curation, whole just range of stuff, you know?
Yeah, it really sounds like it. I know that you're a wonderful photographer from what I've seen.
Oh, wait, thank you. Yeah, I've been a photographer. I've been a professional photographer for over 20 years now. Which is, that's been fun.
Okay. And it's kind of funny that you mentioned using your knuckle. Also, I'm looking at your photo, And
Is my finger in the picture?
no, but I do like the setup with the iPad and the microphone above it. That's great.
Yeah, well, yeah, because
Oh, and the Coke can. Yeah, that's great.
I got my
It's
drink.
good stuff.
I got the headphones are plugged directly into the microphone, so like I'm getting right as quickly as when I talk.
Yeah.
And then that setup's plugged directly into the iPad, and then the iPad's plugged into power. So like we're good to go.
I'm glad you found a way to make it work. Really.
I mean, if not, I just use my AirPods.
Yeah. And I would have used my Raycons, but here we are. But yeah, this is the kind of person that Jeremy is. Like, he's gonna find a way to make it work and make it work well. Although it may be a little messy in the execution.
Oh, I just lost you. Was that me?
Was I lost on you?
Yes. Okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was me, and so I was just like, okay, I'm gonna hang out and talk to myself.
I just can't.
I'm actually
can't
literally pulling my pants up, like I'm, not even just metaphorically. Okay, I'm just gonna hang out here.
All right, great. Sorry, audience, for that.
Oh, see, now you're really, really quiet.
Yeah.
Okay, now I can hear you.
So apparently I can't swap apps while I'm using Anchor's and invite friends functionality, which really sucks because I had a whole.
Okay, now I can hear you again.
Really?
Okay, now I can. You came up just barely.
Good Lord. All right, I'm gonna go back to the Raycons.
And yeah, it's like very is it windy?
Yeah, it's a little windy.
It worked great for the until I lost you. It actually worked great.
Okay, so
I wonder if you should just leave and then come back in. I mean, even if we just end the. Because can we just end this recording and then clip the two together? Because the intro was good.
Oh yeah, I can do that. It'll be a little extra work, but I could probably pull that off.
Because I wonder if it's just you having left, you know what I mean, and then coming back in, because the audio was great.
Well, I never left. That's the thing. All I did was swap apps on my telephone. So look at me. I said telephone. What am I, like 50?
Yeah, but turn it off and turn it back on again.
No, I think it's okay. I'd rather not have to do that. I'm a terrible host. So, but can you hear me now, like consistently?
Yes, but it's not as robust. But gotcha. I can hear you.
Okay, well, sorry, audience, you're gonna have to deal with it this time. And you know what a buddy told me is he's heard bad podcasts before, and by bad I mean the audio was a little fuzzy, or I've actually yesterday I was listening to a podcast called Bussin' with the Boys. I don't know if you've ever heard of that, Jeremy.
Nope.
But the host, he accidentally was using his AirPods to talk the entire time until about 3/4 of the way through. And it came out a little fuzzy up until that point, and then it was perfectly clear. So after a bit, we might try to go back to the phone audio. So sorry, audience, I'm going to do a little cut here and there and try to make that whole sequence that just happened a little more easy on your sanity. But for right now, if this is working, this is what we're going to roll with.
Yeah. So. How do I sound?
You sound fine to me. You do. Okay. So you actually sound pretty perfect. So
yeah. So one of the things that I'm trying to make sure is that that my wife and I can both talk at the same time, that's why I set the microphone up, right?
Oh yeah, she'll be here soon, right?
She gets off work at 5 o'clock, though I'm sure she will not want to do this right when she gets off work. Oh, yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, fair enough. I don't like doing it as soon as I get off of work either. Yeah. So,
I got to kick back. I'm gonna kick back my chair now and put my feet up.
Yeah, enjoy yourself, man. That's what I'm doing. I've got a drink myself, and I've got my beautiful home that I grew up in. I'm sitting on the front porch and I'm looking across our land,
and I'm having a great time. It's a beautiful day here in Middle Tennessee. What's it look like over there?
Well, it was nasty this morning, but now it's quite bright and nice. But it's like
That's
60 degrees and a breeze.
Oh wow! I wish it was. I wish it got a little cooler here. It did for a couple days, but today it's just hot as the eastern sun. So
it may be up to like 70. I don't know. I don't know. Don't ask me about what temperature is. It's either cold or it's hot. It felt like,
right.
but it's not Texas hot. So it's 79. So I don't even know.
See, look, we've already got so much to talk about. So I want to get back to. I'm going to remember Texas, but I want to get back to. It's really funny that you said you have. Yeah. It's funny that you said you got to click the elevator button with your knuckles because when I was still working at Walmart about 2 months ago, you know how they've got these little things now that you hold in your hand that have a little stick poking off of them, basically, that you use to push elevator buttons. And they've even some of them have a nub to where you can do like touch screens at the store. And
you mean like a stylus tip?
Yeah. A little stylus tip.
That was me.
And on one package that me and a buddy saw at Walmart while we were stocking things, it said this product is known to cause cancer. So my question for you is, what's worse, COVID or cancer?
I mean, that's a context thing, right?
I suppose so.
And if you had cancer right now, I would feel, you're going to have a reduced immune system, so you're more likely to get COVID.
Yeah, but like, of course, right? But would you rather have coronavirus or cancer right this moment?
Cancer, absolutely 100%. Because you have it specified, so I'm going with I get to pick exactly what cancer I have. Okay,
yeah. Why not? What would be your preferred form of cancer?
Tiny, small, benign skin tumor.
Good Lord. I was going to think like, I don't know, not prostate cancer for sure. But yeah, but we were sitting there looking at that and laughing at it because it was just so ridiculous. Like, if you're going to try to use like, of course, everything is known to cause cancer. There's got to be some chemical compound or a part of the alloy that they use to make that little thing cause cancer in some people, in some cases. I'm assuming if you directly ingested it, but I was thinking I wouldn't want to eat this thing and I wouldn't want to like shove it up my ass or nothing, so I don't know how it could possibly cause cancer.
But it has nothing to do with or I guess you probably do eat whatever the thing is.
I mean, yeah.
No, just like what is it?
It'll be in other things, whatever the tiny piece of the whole larger part is. You might.
So I do a photo process called gum bichromate that uses watercolors, but it also uses a chemical. I use sodium dichromate to make it light sensitive, right? And so that's that chemical can cause. It's a known carcinogen.
Huh.
It's known to cause cancer. It's also used in like sausage casings.
Very weird.
I mean, it's literally something, but because it's not about it's about exposure. It's about how much exposure. Is it something that's that can be flushed from your system? Is it flushed from your system? How can it be flushed from your? It's just a
right.
It's
See,
not
this is why I wanted to talk to you, because we get down to the absolute brass tacks.
Because
yeah. Right. So I don't know how much of the prior conversation got cut out, so you might hear a little bit of repeat here, but that's what I was saying about Jeremy and his photo of his recording setup for this episode right now, because we're doing it remotely over Anchor. I saw a microphone pointed down over an iPad, and I just had to say to myself, that is exactly Jeremy. That is exactly what Jeremy would do in this situation. So I'm very glad.
I want to be able to use my phone to text message other people to talk about how bored I am and
Oh,
how
yeah?
bad you are as a host.
Okay. Well, I don't think I'm that bad,
No, I wouldn't be here if I thought you were bad.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm not going to forget that. So, but anyways.
Yeah, that's true. We haven't. Maybe I should revisit my opinion at the end. Are you gonna do like a live or a podcast like live during the presidential debate on Tuesday? Because you should.
No, but I don't have enough followers really to do like a live show yet, I think.
No. Just record it. But like record it while you're watching the presidential debates.
I guess I could. I've been doing solo episodes on my own. I have 2 uploaded right now, and I'm going to record another one later tonight. I call them self-help edition. They're they're a lot shorter than the guest episodes, but they're a lot of fun, and that's not a bad idea, actually. Yeah,
because you said this is what, episode 9?
Yes, episode 9 right now.
Yeah, see, I caught the first 4.
Oh, you actually listened to them?
Yes.
Oh, wow, incredible.
You sent them to me, and you were like, "Hey, listen to this," but I haven't listened to the last 4.
Yeah, they only get better. So trust me, whatever you heard before, they're a little better now.
Okay, gotcha.
Cool. Yeah, and I add little things.
I mean, I feel like from this point, they're just going to go downhill.
Dude, you gotta stop. You're playing games with me.
Oh no, I just mean, like until I come back, you've already reached your pinnacle, right?
I guess so. You are.
It's gonna be like waves, right? It crests.
You're actually the most professional, and you are the
horrible things about the other guests.
No, you're an elder person. Not to be rude.
I'm an older gentleman.
You're no boomer, but you are older than the rest of the people that have been on. They're all around my age, and you're somewhat of a mentor to me, and you have an established career and profession, and you're good at what you do, and you know how to talk about it. So that's why you're on the show.
Thanks.
And it's very exciting to me that I have someone who actually has something of substance to talk about for the first time.
I just recently did a presentation. Last Monday, I just did a presentation on how to use Python for digitization, like an intro.
Right.
And so that was presentation 4 of a 5-part series through digital transitions, DT Lemonade thing with this whole pandemic, whatnot.
Right.
So
and
they got one more.
This is something I wanted to get into, is because that is precisely what I caught you doing most of the time at the lab. So for context, we met whenever Jeremy became my boss. I worked at the digital production lab in Hodges Library, Tennessee, which sounds very fancy and cool, but basically what it means, and this is what I tell people, is that we take pretty pictures of old shit. Which is not what we did originally. We painstakingly scanned things one by one, and
that sounds like painstakingly sounds like they were made immaculate, though, right?
Oh no, they weren't. They were pretty terrible. And this is what Jeremy did. He came in and whipped everything into shape, and the quality went very far up. So, for example, we would do all of the theses that were written at the university over literally just about a century at this point. I think the oldest one I saw was in the 30s. I don't want to say that for sure, but just upload them online as a resource for people to see in the future, and also to document our human history. And that's what I was doing at the lab whenever Jeremy entered the scene, and he totally shook things up and made everything literally 300% better for us and for the students that actually access the materials and the organizations that access and use the materials. And it was just a really, really cool job. But that's how me and Jeremy know each other. He was my boss, and now we're kind of friends, and he's going to be my boss again soon. So, but yeah, so and you said something about Python coding for digitization, which is what you're doing presentations on right now, or is that just one part of your 5-part series?
That was just one part of the 5-part series. I only actually did. I was an invited guest speaker for 2 of the parts.
Oh, okay. So you're not fully in charge of the entire 5-part series, but
no,
for one part of it.
Yeah. This is part of digital transition. So they do their like training, support, and sales for really, really high end photography, both like commercial and then like cultural heritage imaging, which is the area that I work in. I've got to give a shout out to Doug Peterson. He's the one I've been doing presentations with. He's great. He's their head of R&D there.
Cool. No free shout out. So Doug, you're gonna have to give me like a one piece, like a Benji there for that, but we'll talk later.
Maybe he'll. We're doing a workshop in 2021, like a 2-day workshop. That's like a follow-on, because these webinars are all free. So maybe I can have
anyone can access it.
I could have you as my assistant, because it's still going to be a virtual 2-day like workshop.
Uh-oh, did I lose you?
No, I'm still here.
Oh, I think I lost you for just 1 second. If you want to repeat what your like last 2 seconds.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, fair enough.
I just ramble, you know me.
Techie, nerdy, yeah, gobbledygook, but no, it's very, very cool stuff.
Yeah,
and I just heard your phone go off.
I don't even know what that was. Did you hear up to 60% off shorts?
No, that's okay. It's fine.
In between from REI Co-op.
That's pretty funny. We've gotten phones going off all the time. It's not a big deal, trust me. But continuing, dead air, man, dead air. That's what we exactly need. So clearly, like Jeremy is an academic. I think he prides himself most on. Would you say that's true?
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy learning and teaching other people how to think critically, which I think is just the bedrock of, how you learn, how everybody learns.
Yeah, and that makes total sense. And one of the coolest things that I've been involved with Jeremy, in, I would say, kind of a small part compared to the work that he put into this thing. But so we actually wrote a piece, and we were supposed to present at a conference, Archiving 2020, in Washington, D.C., if I'm not wrong. At the National Archives, yeah. Which would have been wonderful, but then COVID happened, and I probably couldn't have afforded a ticket anyway to get there.
I was going to drive. We were just going to take the van.
But so we wrote this whole thing.
It wouldn't cost you any money. Yeah.
Well, shit. I mean, we didn't even get to that planning stage, though. Yeah, that wasn't a bad plan. So hopefully after all this stuff blows over, or if it ever does, we might get another opportunity like that. But I want to talk about exactly what that was about, which is very cool for people who are into podcasts and stuff. It's kind of like streaming. And what do you do when you stream is you go on Twitch. And what do people on Twitch use is a stream deck, which is a device with a varying range of amount of buttons that you can basically program to do whatever you want. And so that's basically what our paper was about, was using that device, not for its primary marketable purpose, but for the work that we did in the lab together.
Yeah, we made it into
Jeremy, what do you want to say about that?
Like the plan was to take this kind of simple, the one we got is the Stream Deck XL, and it's got 32 buttons on it. And to kind of make that a control center to use to drive the computers for both capturing materials with the camera and then processing them afterwards, so that we didn't have to deal with the mouse and a keyboard if we didn't need to, because for the most part, it just even I do it, hit the wrong key and you make an error. And sometimes with some of the programs we use, you didn't even know
Right.
if you may not even know that that was a keyboard shortcut, or if it is, you don't know what it's to.
Right. So what's very cool about this thing is you can just map basic keyboard shortcuts to it, or you can write whole programs that it will run
and we
when
did
you
both.
push the button. Yes, we used a combination just for like our workflow, and we ended up writing a whole little paper about it. So I might actually provide a link to that in the description if anyone's interested to know what nerdy shit I was up to before COVID happened. This is what it was.
It's a peer-reviewed,
but yeah,
published conference proceeding in the Image Science and Technologies Archiving 2020 conference proceedings.
Right. And dude, I couldn't have been more excited whenever you approached me with that, and in talking about it and then getting through it, and just helping to figure out what we can do with the Stream Deck and executing it, man. I mean, it was a lot of fun, and I learned so much stuff, which is really the whole story of just working under you, was learning how to do cool shit with computers that I never knew how to do.
And
programs that
realizing that sometimes it's better to just start and make your own.
That's kind of what I did with this show. In no small part, you, not really you, but just the whole experience of the lab inspired Slackers Podcast to actually begin. Yeah, it's kind of that whole idea of, well, fuck it, I'm just going to jump in and start doing it.
I have a new motto that falls right in line with that. If something is worth doing, it's worth doing badly.
Right, exactly. And every day I move farther and farther away from that bad part of it, I feel. But that's exactly right. And I couldn't argue with that at all.
Oh,
so let me test something before we move on.
So Aaron Mazzi.
Hold on, hold that thought. Can you still hear me?
Okay, so Aaron Mazzi just sent me a text message because I sent her a pic. So I said, hey, I got invited to a podcast. And I sent her the same picture I sent you. And she said it was
okay. Cool. What'd she say?
It's a she. She's the digital media specialist at Texas State University in San Marcos, Texas. So she's like the me at Texas State. But she reminded me that I had sent her a new kind of about or summary of myself as a professional, which would actually be perfect to share here, right? Because you're talking, you wanted me to say like what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me get there. Okay, we're here.
No.
Can you hear me? Because I feel like I lost you. Yeah.
Well, shit. Okay, you lost me again. Okay, so now I know what I
do that.
Now I know what I can and cannot do. Okay.
Yes.
Can you still hear me?
Yes.
What about now?
I feel like I'm on a Verizon
How about
commercial,
now?
and yes, I can still hear you.
Okay, well then I don't know what I did because I'm doing exactly what I just did and exactly what I did the first time I cut out. So whatever.
I really like the testing that you're doing.
Still hear me,
you know, I'm super impressed.
Oh yeah, no, this is what it's all about. Hey, if it's worth doing, it's worth doing badly. So that's what we're doing.
Slackers Podcast fits incredibly well with that concept.
Well, yeah, I'm not sure if anyone knows the impetus for that naming. that nomenclature. But we can get into that soon. But I
hadn't started,
interrupt you like that.
We're all good.
Please
so
continue.
Let me go ahead, and I shall begin. So this is a summary that I've written in terms of covering my professional skills and just kind of some thoughts about myself. But I was limited in characters, 1. And 2, I really forgot to include, I feel like, anything about handling and working with archival materials. But that's beside the point. Okay, so here we go. Jeremy Moore has over 20 years experience in photography, 13 years managing digitization labs, grant projects and classrooms, and 10 years coding Bash and Python. He has had the honor and joy of teaching thousands of university students, faculty, and staff, and imaging, cultural heritage, and library professionals through workshops, invited lectures, university courses, and requested consultations and correspondence. Jeremy Moore is a creative thinker, passionate speaker, and dedicated educator who's as comfortable processing images with Python as Photoshop. A self-professed nerd and autodidact, Jeremy loves to learn and generously share his knowledge with all ages from every walk of life. He has extensive experience presenting and teaching technical and non-technical subjects to technical and non-technical audiences and stakeholders. Okay, so that's kind of like the narrative part, right?
Very, very.
Well, it's official sounding because, like, I gotta stop and then talk like this. Okay. So, and then here's the section that covers kind of what I think are some key things that I'm proud of, and talents or skills. And then, but like I said, this doesn't include working and handling with archival things, which I feel like is huge. Primary investigator, co-PI, or named key personnel on over $500,000 in state and federal grants. Demonstrated project management experience creating, processing, and validating millions of historical, archival, scientific, and fine art images for preservation, research, and access. Responsible for images and metadata used and seen by millions of people online in mass market publications, peer-reviewed research, classrooms of every age, television shows, Hollywood movies, and on museum walls. Seeks out different perspectives and ideas from an international professional network, enjoys working in a diverse workplace, and enjoys learning from other people and cultures. Accomplished communicator in a variety of physical and virtual mediums, including internal and external documentation, blog posts, media interviews, online learning management systems, webinars, university classrooms, peer-reviewed articles, and regional, national, and international conferences. Extensive experience teaching and using Python, computer vision, Pillow, OpenCV, Matplotlib, Tesseract, ImageMagick, Jupyter Notebooks and Lab, the Shell, Wikis, the Adobe Creative Suite, G Suite, Office 365, macOS, and Windows. Extensive experience using and supporting a wide range of blah, blah, blah. So then it just goes in a list of stuff that I've used and, skills and talents that I got. But I think that covers, the big things, right? I feel like you're gone again. Yes, now I can hear you again.
Yeah, can you hear me again? Sorry about that. Okay, yeah, so I still don't know exactly why that keeps happening, but when I open my notes app, for some reason that happens. But anyway, I heard every bit of that, and so did they. So basically, that's good stuff.
Yeah, that's definitely stuff that I'm absolutely proud of.
And for the audience's sake, I understand that might all sound pretty boring, but it also basically means that Jeremy's the shit, and that's why he's on the show.
It means that
today.
I'm recognized for what I enjoy doing, and that I am I am recognized as being very competent, and my suggestions and experience and expertise is considered useful. I don't know. I feel like that's about it.
Yeah, sorry. Well, that's good. Don't give yourself too much of a big head there, okay?
I also deal with a lot of other random stuff.
Right. Yeah, you definitely do. You're very well-rounded, and you've basically know what's up. And I imagine you're pretty well read also, right? Okay. And what is, off the very top of your head, your favorite, what is not necessarily your favorite, but a book that you've gone back to? Plato's Republic. Wow. Could you have picked a more boring book?
Says somebody that doesn't understand Plato's Republic.
Why would... Well, okay, fair enough. I mean, it sounds like it, but tell us why. Tell us why that's a book that you've come back to over and over again, and why you love it.
But I feel like I already know I'm speaking to a tainted audience that thinks this is boring. So can you give me just why is it?
No. Okay, well, so it sounds very.
No, just totally, absolutely.
How do I say this without being offensive to you?
You're not going to offend me.
It's not necessarily that I think it's boring, because I'm of course going to take your recommendation on some reading, right? And so I hope that even though it's called Slackers, we've got people who are interested to know things that me and you know, that you know, and I'm interested to learn too.
Like,
so basically, my audience.
Plato's Republic and everything. It'd be fun.
Can you give us a quick gist of like basically what it says, very fast, like what if you have to say Plato wrote is it Plato? Plato wrote it,
and it's one of the Socratic dialogues, which basically it's in terms of construction, kind of think of it like it's a play.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, Socratic, basically, here's the best explanation if you want to get an idea of, like, picture in your head.
Wow. I really wanted to hear about the plot of Plato's Republic. Excuse me, I had to yawn and stretch. Yeah, sorry about all the tech issues and, just the general quality of what you just listened to. If you even made it that far, congratulations and thank you. But as you'll notice, I decided to take the Anchor ad off, so this episode is not monetized. It's not like I've even made $2 off of the podcast yet anyway, but I just felt bad about delivering that to you and trying to make money off of it, It was still fun to do. It's always good practice to talk to somebody. So I know in the episode I said they're only getting better, but that's really ironic because this one turned out to be the worst one yet. And not even because I was being a bad host. It's mostly because I just don't know the ins and outs of this game yet. And I just had to have a better recording setup, and I should have known to use another service for that. But anyway, thank you guys so much for listening. Dude, the rest of the episode was awesome. We talked about the Plato's Republic, my favorite book, The Hobbit. And then we were talking about having kids, not that I'm thinking about that now, but I wish you guys could have heard it. A dog that's been hanging out around my house. I mean, it was just a fun episode, and he, as you can hear and tell, he's a really smart guy, and he was fun to bounce stuff off of, and we had a little fun and told some jokes. So I do have the audio, so it's not lost, but it's just terrible. So I cut it off before it got too bad for you guys, and I really, really hope that you did enjoy what you heard. Let's just say this was more of a test. How about that? So thanks you guys so much. Don't forget, this is the show where we tell you what it is, how it is, and where it is. Shout out to my non-existent sponsors, Raycon. Even though I shouldn't use you to record podcasts, you still sound good. Shout out to the Cash App, shout out to the Flask Cap, and shout out to the Ass Flaps. Those aren't real. Please, For Loco, sponsor my podcast and make me rich. Bye-bye.